Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Wright with LexJet, and today I'm joined by Chris Boyer. Chris is the Partner Business Manager with HP, and today we're here to talk all things HP Latex R530. We want to answer all the questions about the things that you need to know if you're considering buying a latex printer, specifically this really awesome hybrid model. Chris, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. Morning, Pete. Thanks for the opportunity. Really excited today to talk about our HP Latex R530.
So, let's jump right in. Let's start with just kind of a general overview of where this falls in the family of printers, the latex family with HP. What kind of sets it apart from the rest?
Yeah, great question. It's actually our first entry-level hybrid. Before the Latex R530, we had our UV flatbeds, which sat in a really nice price point. Now the Latex 530 sits in between our Latex 830 series and in between our R1000. So both platforms are 64-inch models, but the key thing with the Latex R530 series is, the space it occupies, the footprint, and the price point that it comes in at.
So what kind of differentiates it between the 630, the 730, and 830?
So the 630, 730, and 830 are traditional 64-inch roll printers, and they don't have the ability to print flat stock or call it rigid material. So the 530 is a hybrid printer, meaning that it prints roll material plus flat material or rigid stock up to 2 inches thick. So it allows users to print like your standard 4x8s, 5x10s, even cut sheet material like 12x17s. And users can actually print all the way up to about 20 feet without skew on the Latex 530. In terms of material, it could be wood, coroplast, foam boards, ACM, acrylics, even glass. Then on top of that, of course, the roll strap substrates being hybrid. And one of the big differentiators of course, is the investment and the footprint. One challenge, I think, when you're entering this space, typically when you're looking at hybrid printers or traditional flatbed printers, they occupy a large space, or maybe they're just doing one, traditional flatbeds are only built to do one job, being printing on rigid. And in this case here, it's a really awesome footprint in terms of size, and it does both rigid and roll printing 64 inches.
So who's the ideal customer for this device?
Yeah, this is something that we talk about all the time. And, we've been fortunate that we've been very successful with this product. And in terms of range of customer, it was really built targeted to smaller print service providers. A challenge in this market is when you look at, 64-inch roll printers versus, call it hybrids, there's a big price gap there. And then another challenge is most customers in that space, they don't have the space. So, being able to print direct to substrate eliminates the cost of vinyl and potentially laminate. It's one investment for both roll and rigid printing. Typically, in this space, if you want to do both, you're making two investments. Another huge thing, of course, is labor. Labor is always a challenge in any environment. So it reduces your labor cost. It improves your workflow because you're printing direct to substrate. In addition to that, it makes your shop more competitive, right? Because you're not accounting for your cost of vinyl and laminate, and you're not, utilizing labor to apply vinyl onto a hard substrate, right? Then another part, which is super important, it gives, users or, call what we refer to as print service providers to open more doors for higher value applications. I think every business, you're always trying to grow, you're trying to take on more clients, more jobs, and what we refer to as projects. The 530 allows you to do that, but without making, a huge investment into, call it the printer itself, and also maybe a huge investment into larger space. Then being able to print direct to substrate allows for more creativity. One thing that's super interesting about latex ink, it preserves call it the vibrancy of the material. So if you're printing on a gloss stock or wood, it's going to preserve that grain. If you're printing on a metallic stock, it's going to preserve that metallic. So now when you're printing on rigid, it's going to have the same properties. Traditionally with other, call it competitive technologies, it tends to hide the gloss or sheen of the material. With latex, it actually enhances it.
So Chris, with this machine, this new device, it's a great hybrid device that can do some things that none of your machines have been able to do before. So where does this really shine in terms of applications?
Yeah, so with the 530 being hybrid, it really opens up a lot more doors. So hybrid means that the belt is moving and we're pulling the material. So in terms of sizes of sheets we can print on, it could be 4x8s, it could be 5x10s, it could be cut sheet workflow, so like 12x18s. And we can print actually all the way up to 20 feet. So if somebody's doing a sign face, you can actually put that through the printer. If you look at competitive technologies in this space, traditionally you're working with a standard bed size, like a 4x8 or 5x10. So you're really limited on what you can print in terms of size. Then on top of that, traditionally you can't print roll stock. So being a hybrid, you can print roll plus rigid. So we're not really limited by the bed size. That's number one. Then of course, being able to print roll material allows users to have one investment as opposed to two investments with two printers. Ideally reducing the operational cost of the person's shop. One thing I know we didn't touch on is our white ink. The white ink is something that we developed with our R series. It's, we feel it's the best in market, self-maintained. There's multiple white ink modes that can be used with the 530 series. So from spot to underflood, overflood, 3-layer for day-night applications, and up to 5-layer for window treatments where you need a UV blockout. One thing that really highlights nicely with latex is the way our ink is designed. It's semi-transparent. So with, call it UV flatbeds, and we were in the UV business for years and years. UV, the way the ink is designed, it hides the material that it's printing on top, right? So if you're printing on a reflective or maybe a metallic material, it's kind of going to hide that the vibrancy of that material. With latex, it actually highlights it. So when you're printing on rigid material, if the print is matte, the stock is matte, it's going to be matte. If the stock is gloss, it's going to be gloss. Very similar to offset printing, so it has a much more natural look. Then lastly, of course, is the wide range of application. So what that means is we can print on a super wide range of rigid substrates, from wood to ceramics to tiles, Gs to ACMs, to poroplast. The list kind of goes on and on. Then of course, flexible substrates, which we briefly spoke about, right? Those are I would say that's the kind of the main standard features with the 530.
Now, what about your standard things that you could do with the previous latex models? I don't want to say previous because they're pretty new themselves, but things like car wraps and things like that. Are you still able to do those things with this device?
Oh yeah, definitely. So with this device, one interesting part of our business is that we're utilizing one ink set across our entire lineup. So our 64-inch printers, our 10-foot printers, our rigid printers, including the 530, the 1000, 2000. So it's one universal ink set that does everything for us. So for car wraps, the ink will flex and bend and stretch just like any other latex, or it's the same latex ink in all of our products.
So we talked about the ideal customer, and we've talked about applications. Why is this machine good for their business?
That's something that that we kind of investigated before this product went into, call it, production or market or even concept. Before going into, call it, this conceptual phase, we interviewed a lot of print service providers, and one common theme is like, hey, I wanted the ability to expand my business and be able to print on rigid substrates, but I'm limited with budget, I'm limited with space. How do I do it? And that's kind of the answer with the 530. So the 530, just like any business, you're always trying to do more for your client. And all of our print service providers, they have a wide range of client base. You're always trying to add more products and services to that client base. And typically with any, print project, there's always rigid involved, which, those print service providers are outsourcing. Then there was always flexible material that typically maybe they were printing. And the 530 is a way for a print service provider to easily enter the market without having to change their space or really, have this large investment. When you break down the numbers, Pete, and this is kind of surprising, I kind of like using this analogy or comparison. The 530, if you were to lease the machine and look at this on an hourly basis, it's around $12, $13 an hour to have this printer on your floor. And if you look at the cost of hiring somebody, it's going to be a lot larger than that. So the 530 really offers an excellent ROI to those smaller print service providers, or even larger ones that like what we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, look, anytime we're investing in our business, anytime we're spending money, especially with today's economy, we have to be careful about where we put our money. So anytime we can look at something that is saving us money and giving us a quicker turnaround and a more reliable turnaround on the things that we're doing, that's a pretty important thing. So when we talk about latex, because I know when we're going out making that investment, a lot of people are looking at all these different technologies out there. They're having to decide, do I get UV? Do I get solvent? Do I get aqueous? Do I get resin? why latex? Why would they choose latex over all those other technologies?
Yeah, and the other technologies definitely have their place in the market, and they're relevant, and they do a great job for certain applications. If I was going to answer your question, my easy answer would just be application versatility. With latex, it's one ink set that's built for multiple applications. And when you're making investment into equipment, in my opinion, the most important thing, it's ROI. What's going to generate you the best ROI? And since latex can bond to like a super wide range of materials, from fabrics to what we talked about, SAVs, to backlits, frontlets, to paper-based materials. When you look at that application range, latex is, the best fit, I would say, for most print service providers.
So when we get into things like image quality and durability and things like that, how does this stand up in the market?
So there was a lot of updates and changes that were made to, we previously we talked about 730, 830 series, and now with 530 series. So there's HP Pixel Control. That's a piece of technology that was in our Design Jet business that we brought over to our latex business. Pixel Control, and a quick summary, it's a new color pipeline that's a game changer that really improves image quality. Latex ink is one of the most durable ink sets in the market. It's 3M MCS certified. And that's why, for example, for the 700, 800 series, and we're just in the process for the 730, 830 series, it's certified for traffic signage. Traffic signage is like an application that needs to be durable, and latex is able to do that. In terms of Pantone matching, we're roughly about 85% Pantone matching. We do know there's technologies out there that utilize a wider ink set that gives you a bit more, but 85%, we're hitting roughly about over 1,000 corporate colors. Then lastly, why latex? It's we talk a lot about the environmental aspects of latex. Is there's no harmful VOCs. It's good for your operator, good for your business, and good for your customer. And it's just an easy workflow. You print, it's dry, you can laminate, ready to go out the door.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things today is, and we hear it a lot when there's any type of government speeches. We hear about the environment. We hear about kind of being eco-friendly. And it's one of the things that companies get badges now for all the different types of devices. You see it on your refrigerator, your dishwasher, every appliance you own, you see something about Energy Star or eco this or eco that. So you guys, that's a huge focus for HP, is just being eco-friendly. And that's just one of the things that I think is really cool. Not only in just, how your ink cartridges are recyclable in terms of, not having to hang on to these plastic cartridges, but now going to a cardboard container and things like that. Talk to me a little bit more about some of the things that you guys do that are eco-friendly with your devices.
Yeah, on the sustainability side, that's something that it's interesting. Like you hit on a lot of good points. Every Fortune 1000 company and more has some sort of sustainability sustainment, right? Beyond HP, every company out there is trying to look at new ways of manufacturing to, have less waste, use, call it more, have more of a circular economy in terms of the way they build products and recycle products and put those raw materials back into use. And that same sort of concept is what we use in latex, right? So in terms of the ink, it's over 60% water that's being used, and is that we're using as our ink vehicle to carry our pigment. In terms of, you took away some of my points with the cardboard packaging. We moved everything over to cardboard packaging. So that packaging can be directly recycled into your general recycling. And it's amazing. You walk into so many shops and they have stacks and stacks of cartridges. And the reason why, they're plastic, you can't put it in recycling. What do I do with them? We also do have a take back program for printheads, for our maintenance cartridges, and even for printers. Even if it's a competitive model, we actually have a take back program that we would pick it up and recycle it. Then in addition to that, we're using over 30% ocean-bound plastics in many of our products. And in terms of packaging, we're always trying to look at new ways to reduce the amount of packaging with our products. That's our inks. We manufacture packaging for our printers, and it's something that we're constantly always looking at. And the reason why, it's better for the environment. It's a concern that you brought it up with every governments are trying to look at new ways for effectively managing waste, and we're doing the same.
One of the big things that I really like about HP with their machines is just how easy the maintenance is on them, number one. So I'd like you to talk about maintenance. And then the other one is ease of use in terms of just how much experience it takes or what it takes to get these machines up and running and actually be using them. I think a lot of people see the size of a printer and they are intimidated by, oh, it's a big machine, it's going to be really hard to use. And I always say, look, these machines today, the way HP is making them, it's a desktop printer on steroids, essentially. They're not that complicated to run. HP has really made these very intuitive. So talk to me a little bit about the maintenance on these machines, just the upkeep in terms of day-to-day running them, and how easy it is just from the minute you get this set up to being able to operate it.
Yeah, and that's a key differentiator when we're comparing our product versus, call it, UV and solvent technologies. There's not really daily maintenance with latex. So really and truly, when the printer's on, the maintenance routines it needs to go through, it's going to manage that on its own. Even replacing the print heads, a lot of customers would come back and say, well, geez, for print head replacement's expensive, and it's not. It's a few $100s to replace a print head, and it takes all of about 10 minutes. So typically that's that's a service. That's usually a service call with a UV or solvent printer, which is pretty costly. The way that we built these printers, the 530 and our other lineups, is that we try to do things more remotely. Even in our mid-volume business, roughly about the stat is about 80% of our service calls we can solve remotely. And with the 530, and we talked about 730, 830, most of the maintenance is done automatically by the machine. There is some maintenance routines that the printer is going to guide you through, but the bulk of it is done automatically. And one big maintenance routine that's always been a challenge is white ink. So if you have a UV printer with white ink, maintenance is always a challenge. And if you're not using it, you're losing it. With latex, the way we designed it, the white ink is always circulating through the printer. So the ink is always in motion, so it won't solidify. Then if you're not using white ink, you plug the print heads, put it into rotational chamber. So the ink is always in suspension. So what that means really is it gave us the opportunity to add more optical brighteners. So we end up with a much brighter white. And part of the challenge too, if you look at the US, you look at Canada, we have a lot of customers in remote regions. So buying a latex printer, and if you don't have quick access to service, a lot of the service you can manage on your own, or you can manage it through remote support.
Well, Chris, I mean, this, as with all things, every time we talk about HP, always impressive. So let's put a bow on this. If you're looking at the R530 and you're just on the fence about it and you're trying to figure out, is this an investment I need to make? What does a customer need to know about this is going to be something that's going to improve my business, reduce my waste, and improve my efficiency? What are the things that they need to know that really kind of pushes them right over the edge on this?
Yeah, so a couple of things. So number one, you always want to be expanding your service offering. Our most successful customers are the ones that keep reinvesting in their business and looking at new ways to add more to their products or services and offer more to their clients. So that I would say would be number one. It's going to give you the ability to take on larger projects and jobs. So it's going to give you a really excellent ROI by having that ability. That in turn, it's going to add new revenue streams and profits to your business, and ideally open up larger client bases, right? The other thing is a lot of clients, if they know that all you can do is print flexible printing, there's a high probability they're outsourcing their rigid printing somewhere else, right? So if you can be more to that client, we feel that's super important. We briefly talked about staffing. Staffing's always can be a challenge. So adding efficiencies and workflows by being able to print direct to substrate takes away the need to, print on vinyl, potentially laminate, use an application table to apply that laminate, then finish. So being able to print direct to substrate eliminates those steps and makes you more efficient. In addition to that, it reduces, costs associated with vinyl, costs associated potentially with laminate, then also waste of, additional labor, that you're going to require to do that application.
Chris, great answer. And as always, thanks for giving us your time. I think we've given everybody that's watching a lot of answers to help them decide if the R530 is right for them. If you want to find out if the R530 is the right HP latex printer for you, reach out to us at 1-800-4LEXJET. And for all of your printer and supply needs, check us out at LexJet.com.